So this is lesson 4 of Web Design Development Laboratory entitled Cascading Style Sheets. In this discussion, we are to look into cascading style sheets, a tool used to enhance styles coded in HTML. We are to build the basic style sheets. We are to identify the types of style sheets here in this discussion. We look into selection techniques, class and ID, about div and span, and other selectors. So recognizing the benefits of using CSS. Again, CSS, it stands for Cascading Style Sheets. We've used some of the CSS style rules in the previous discussions, and we noticed that there are standards in coding where you need to apply CSS. Latest version of CSS is CSS version 3, and newer browsers do support CSS. So some terms, we call the characteristics of an HTML elements when we are to apply a specific style, a code that defines a style, we call it as a style rule. A set of style rules, if we have list of styles, we call it as style sheet. Style rules are same with HTML. The moment we write down the code, it is being interpreted by our browser. In a style rule, there are two parts, the selector and the declaration. The selector is the one that determines the element to which the rule is applied, while the declaration is the property values. The selector is the element. The declaration is the style you apply to the element. Okay, or markup or tags. Example, say here, we want to have a color of red. We want to apply a color of red to H1. So H1 is the selector, the color, red, is the declaration. In the declaration, there are it has two parts, and that's the, yes. In the declaration, there are two parts, and that's the property and the value. Let me go back here, okay? The color is the property, and the value is the red. That's how it is. The property, again, is the characteristics or the quality of the element or the markup, while the value is the value of the characteristic. Okay, CSS includes wide variety of different properties, each with a specific number of values. Just like with HTML, we need to take note that there are we need to take note of the characteristics. Okay, so there's a boundary of the characteristics to be applied in a specific element or markup. So again, I mentioned this a while ago about the property and the value. And for this part 1, for main focus is the three types of CSS, and that is inline, internal, and external. In the inline style sheet, we apply the style is specific to the element. Okay, like this one is an inline. So we want, let's say, to apply a specific style inside the paragraph. So we have this span here. We've applied a style of font weight of bold to this structured language text. Okay, so that's the inline. You apply the style rule specific to the element. Usually in an inline, you will see the style rule within the body. Okay, within the body. So that's the inline. So somehow similar to the HTML when we apply styles. Okay, sorry. And then here on top, that's an example of an internal type of a style sheet. In the internal type of a style sheet, all the styles are placed within the head, and then automatically the browser will apply those styles in the body. Example, like in here, I have applied a left margin of 30 pixels to the paragraph. So the browser will check all paragraphs and apply a left margin of 30 pixels to all paragraphs. Okay, so that's how it is. The good thing with internal, benefit of internal, easy to edit, because when you are to change the style, you only look at one portion of the page, right, which is on the head. Another, there's less coding. We need to take note if there's less coding. That's one better feature because it somehow helps to make the loading of the page faster. In the external, you separate the code. Okay, you place all the codes in a separate file, and then you just apply it to your page. The good thing with external is also it helps to for faster loading. Also, just like with um, internal, also easy to edit. So, for us to better see how this works, especially the internal and the external, let us have an example. Okay? So with inline again, we apply the style within the element. That's the inline. I mentioned that a while ago. And then let's have an example for the internal. I have a page. I have this code here. I'll copy that. Control A, Control C, and paste it here. Control V. Okay, and then go to language, H, and then HTML. So again, in the internal, okay, it starts with style, adding style and slash style. Okay, and then we need to add an attribute here of type text CSS. So like in here, I have applied some style rules. So like the body has a left margin of 50 pixel, the paragraph will have a color of blue, and um, I have declared these fonts here. There's Verdana, Arial, Sans Serif. We call this as fallback. So the first font to be applied is Verdana. If the browser do not support Verdana, then it will use Arial. If not, if again not supported, it will use Sans Serif. And then I have a font size of medium. For H1, there's a color of red, and then uh, same font, same properties with the font style and size, and I want it aligned at the center. So so this is again what we call as internal. I'll save that. I have created a folder in my desktop already for this discussion. It's lesson 4 and it's missing. Ayun. Okay. So sample .html na, save, and then let's check the browser. We are expecting that there is that the where is that? Lesson 4. That there should be a style applied. Okay? And there is. So like the heading, if you notice, we said that the H1 will have a color of red, and there's that color of red. And the paragraph will have a color of blue. So example, the client said, I said brown, not blue. So you just go here, okay, and then change the style. Control S and then F5. So see, automatically all the paragraphs will have a color of brown. So much easy to edit. Not like if it is inline, you need to dig into each of the paragraph. So if you have like 100 paragraphs, you have to go into each one of them. Not like in internal, you just change the style here. Okay, that's the benefit of this internal type of a CSS. Okay, I hope that is clear. So with external, the style is on a separate notepad. So I'll cut this. I'll create a new notepad. Control V. And then there's no style type text CSS. Okay. So if you notice, I've changed it, but I have removed the style. I'll save this first, ha. Control S and go here F5. So if you notice, basic siya, di ba? We will restore the style this time using external type of CSS. So first is again, you should have your styles here. Example, I'll change now this time pink. Okay? I'll have some magic here. So I'll save this. The notepad that has those specific style, you type your file name, okay, say example styles, and then it should have a .css file extension. Okay? That's how it is. You save it, and then in here on the specific page under the head, okay, with the, inside the head rather, inside the head you add link, and then rel of style sheet, and then you add type equals text /css, and href, and then the file name of the uh, notepad file, the .css file, which is styles.css, and then close. Again, make sure values should have double quotes. Okay, there, make sure also that this file here is on the same folder as of this page. Let me just double check if it's styles or style. Okay, so that's lesson 4 and it's styles. So done. So control S. So we are expecting we know that the styles are restored. F5, and there it is. Okay, if you remember, I've changed the style to pink. Good thing again with external is that, let's say if you have 100 web pages, okay, so you just have to copy and paste this, diba, to link those styles here, okay, to all of your pages. Also good thing pala, also a good thing with CSS is it observes consistency. We've discussed last time that very important to observe unified site design. Okay, and with this, it somehow helps us to ensure consistency on our design. Okay, so again, that's the inline, internal, and external. I have a discussion here for external type of CSS. Okay, and an example. So again, this should be in a separate notepad file, and then you need to save that with the .css extension, and you need to remove the style tag. Style tag is only for internal, and then you add this in the page. Okay. Very important to observe coding standards in web browsing. This is not acceptable. Better to write down element first, and then one line per style. Okay, one line per style rule. The separator for each of the style rule is a semicolon. Okay, semicolon, just like this. I think also in your coding programming, it's the same, right? Okay, so also better to also add comments in your code. And this ends part 1 of lesson 4. So thank you. I hope to still see you in lesson 2. In lesson 4 part 2. Keep safe, together we learn as one.